Lily opens her door a crack to see who it is. Hello, I thought you were my girls. Her girls come 3 times a day, once in the morning to help her get dressed, and later on for lunch and dinner, to make her a boiled egg salad or put something in a pan. I have a small pot of gourmet honeycomb ice cream in a plastic bag. Would you come in for a cup of tea? No, Lily, I'm not allowed because of the virus. She rolls her eyes upwards and tuts. Well, come round the side and sit in the garden then. I watch as she turns slowly, the stirrup on her right leg clinging stubbornly on, digging into her calf. She's wearing a bright pink twin set and pearls. I wonder if she's spoken to anyone today. Would you have a squash? A biscuit? Go on, you'll have a biscuit. I let her bring me a glass of squash in her most expensive crystal glass, 2 Viscount bars in green wrappers. She brings me a posh napkin and apologizes for not giving me a plate. Make sure you wash this glass in extra hot water when I go, I say, nervously holding it in my hand. Lily sighs. You know, during the war, we had to stay inside, but we were worried about being bombed, not catching a virus. She eats her ice cream and I sip my squash. I just don't know how a man eating a bat could have caused a sickness to spread all across the world. I don't think a man ate a bat, Lily. They don't really know much about it yet. It's all just very strange to me. How did it even get here? I shrug and think about her friend, Ethel, who died only the week before. There had been 4 of them: Lily, my Granny Molly, Roisin, who owned the pub up the far end of town, and finally Ethel. Lily is the only one left now. I don't know what I would do if all the people I love died. I would probably crawl into bed and not get back out again. I would forget how to breathe. Lily scoops some more ice cream out of her tub. I'm sorry about Ethel. I hadn't seen her for months. My life hasn't really changed all that much, you know. I never leave the house anyway. She leans on her mahogany dresser, where there are silver frames with photos of her husband in them. There are no photos of her son on the dresser. I have never seen a photo of him, but she has photos of his garden all over the house. He was a horticulturist, she told me once, and I realized Lily always has her lawn perfectly mowed. Her daughter's been awful weepy. It will ease soon enough. She says this in a matter-of-fact way, and I look at her. She is ringed with a sort of steel that doesn't really exist in people my age. I wonder if my grandmother and her friends were born with a certain temperament that made these things easier to endure. Maybe they were raised on a type of milk that built them up for tougher things. I feel like I'm made of water most of the time, about to dissolve into the next thing that bumps up against me. Suddenly, I hear chirping and look up at her roof. There's a blackbird with a long wriggling worm in its mouth. I can't see a nest, but I hear a fainter chirping, a baby possibly, hidden away. Is there a nest? She says. Yes, I think there's a baby. She beams, the ice cream dripping onto her hands. Oh, how lovely. I've never had a nest before. Can you see it? I stand up on my toes to look. I can only see the white gutter, the grey slate of the roof and dark green moss, but the mother bird is bobbing into the space and coming out with her beak empty. Yeah, there must be a baby in there. Oh, how wonderful. I've never had company in the roof. She gets up to fetch a heel of bread from the kitchen. How big should the chunks be? I ask. It doesn't matter, dear. Just throw all of it out there. I promise to come back again with birdseed for her feeders. As I turn to go, I watch as a large black crow swoops in and starts picking up all the pieces of bread, the blackbird hovering nearby. A few days later, I'm in the garden when my mum comes out with the phone. It's Lily. She says the nest's gone. I frown, take the phone, then remember. Her voice is frantic. The nest has gone. My friend came round for tea today and said she couldn't see any nest. It must have gone. Lily's never called me on the phone before. I wonder if I made a mistake telling her about the nest. I'm sure it's still there, Lily. It's not. My friend went to look when I told her about the nest, and she said there was nothing there. I go inside and sit on the sofa where it's cool and dark. They might have flown away. We had a little nest of sparrows in our roof, and they all left this week. It's the season for it. She doesn't say anything for a minute. Right you are. So you never saw a nest? That's so strange. I honestly thought I saw it. I'm sorry to bother you. You aren't bothering me. I like talking to you. Shall I come round tomorrow and bring you that birdseed? Oh yes, dear, that would be nice. She's on the phone when I pull up. She comes to the door and says, "Oh, I thought you were my girls," and we laugh. It's too windy for me to sit outside, so she props the door open. I have sanitized my hands and make sure not to touch her, but feel a strong urge to lean over and kiss her on the cheek where I know it's softest. She goes into the kitchen and I sit on the edge of a chair by the door. I have nipped round the side of the house to see if the birds are there, but I can see nothing. Are you sure this is all right, Lily? Yes, of course. My girl is late today. You can stay until she arrives. She might be cross with me for being here. She tuts and shakes her head. This is my house. She won't be telling you off. I smile and sip my takeaway coffee. She has a tablecloth and silver cutlery all laid out on the tiny pull-out table in the kitchen. The wind is whistling through the corridors of our house and banging the doors. I notice a photograph on the wall I haven't seen before. The photo is printed on a canvas, all bright greens and pinks and purples. I can tell it is a really beautiful garden. In the center, just hidden by the leaves, is what looks like Lily, wearing a bright pink suit, her hair white and permed. Is that you in the photo? What? Oh yeah, the garden. That was taken a week before he died. He was a horticulturalist, you know. She watches as the wind blows the trees outside her front door. I think the birds have flown away, Lily.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lydia. That's so beautiful.
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Lydia, I felt like I was in the room with you. I could see everything from the
No, I just wanted to say I didn't put her at risk. She's 98, so I wanted a disclaimer there that I took all the necessary precautions. But yeah, people need to see people and they need, they need company. So yeah, thank you.
in that group too. So thank you. So beautiful.